Hello, everybody. At this time, we are talking about a value chain. A value chain is a series of consecutive steps that go into the creation of a finished product, from its initial designs to its arrival at a customer's door. The chain identifies each step in the process at which value is added, including the sourcing, manufacturing, and marketing stages of its production. And then we move to primary value chain activities. The first, inbound operations. This is the internal handling and management of resources coming from outside sources such as external vendors and other supply chain sources. These outside resources flowing in are called inputs and may include raw materials. The second, operations. These are activities and processes that transforms inputs into outputs, the product or service being sold to customers for a higher price than the cost of materials and production, generating a profit. Third, outbound logistics. This is the delivery of outputs to customers. Processes involve systems for storage, collection, and distribution to customers, and this includes managing a company's internal systems and external systems from customers' organizations. And then fourth, marketing and sales. Activities such as advertising and brand building, which seek to increase visibility, reach a targeted audience, and communicate why a consumer should purchase a product or service. And then fifth, service. Customer service and product support activities reinforce long-term relationships with those who have purchased a product or service. And then we move to business benefits of value chains. The first benefit, connecting different activities. Internal linkage refers to how the activities in the value chain interact with one another. Optimizing one activity can lead to benefits in other divisions. By improving the coordination among activities, an organization can gain competitive advantages. For example, the eco-friendly packaging used by outbound logistics could be promoted by the marketing department as good corporate citizenship. And then second, enhance the organization's visibility. Once a value chain is established, teams can access it and gain an understanding of the company's activities and where they could make an impact on value. And then third, creating a target operating model. A value chain allows you to create a roadmap for future major chain initiatives, such as replacing the company logo or obtaining an environmental certification. It acts as a checklist to ensure the impacted activities across the company are addressed. Fourth, evaluating an acquisition fit. By comparing a company's value chain with that of a potential acquisition, you can assess whether the two companies are good fit. And then how to implement the value chain. The first step, identify the secondary activities for each primary activity. Each primary activity has secondary activities associated with it. A company needs to decide which of these activities add the most value. The three sub-activities include direct activities, indirect activities, and quality assurance. And then the second, identify the secondary activity for each support activity. Support activities such as accounting and human resources determine the sub-activities that provide value to the primary activities. For example, how does accounting add value to a primary activity such as operations or logistics? Third, identify a connection between the activities. The next step, and probably the most challenging one, is to identify the links between all the activities. The connections are key to gaining a competitive advantage in the industry. There can be a connection between the amount of human capital investment in an accounting firm and the amount of debts outstanding. And then we move to the function of value chain. The primary goal of creating a value chain is to raise a business earnings by lowering its manufacturing costs. Additionally, the value chain maximizes the value and use of the items generated by the organizations. Among the other roles of the value chains are the first, retaining allegiance via consistent creation of higher value. Second, the most excellent way to create value is to concentrate on those areas where it is possible to do so. Third, identifying operations inside the manufacturing system to identify the company's vulnerabilities and limitations. Fourth, do not waste time on non-essential tasks. Instead, focus on those that may help you create more value. Fifth, the corporation earns money in the long run. And then we move to the relationships between supply chain and value chain. Supply chain and value chain are different concepts. They are interrelated and complementary. Supply chains offer the raw materials and resources needed for product development, while the value chain focuses on how to offer maximum value to customers with these products. In the absence of a resilient supply chain, the value chain would not effectively function. And with an inefficient value chain, the supply chain will produce suboptimal products that fail to meet customers' needs and wants. And then we move to Porter's value chain model. Porter's value chain model examines processes involved in the transformation of inputs into outputs. It sees a company as a chain of value-creating activities. Porter used the concept to demonstrate how businesses add value to their raw materials to create products that are then sold to the customers. Thus, it's crucial to maximize value at each stage of a company's operations. He represented a chain of activities common to all businesses, which he divided into primary and support activities. These activities are used as building blocks by businesses to produce a valuable product or service. The value chain divided into primary activities such as inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, and service. And support activities including procurement, technology development, human resource management, and infrastructure. The value chain illustrates how each activity adds value to the final product. I think it is enough. Thanks for watching.